Good evening and welcome to the Pizza Roundtable, part of the I Need Pizza Club network, where every Tuesday evening we talk about the best pizza industry news happening and things going on. I'm one of your two hosts, Jim Mumford, triumphantly joined by my co-host, Will Dumas. Will, how have you been, my friend?
I'm doing good. Cue the applause and even like, bah, 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 bah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. I'm happy to be back, buddy. Happy to be back.
We are so happy to have you back in the fold. So, for those not familiar with the show, this is where we're going to talk about. I think we have 8 articles this evening. We're going to get everyone's hot takes. We're going to run the range tonight, my friend. So why don't we? Unless you want to tell us about your world travels. Actually, here's what I want to know. Since we saw you last, what's your best pizza experience? Did you make pizza? Did you eat pizza? Did you dream about pizza? I know, right
All
on
of
the
the
spot.
above.
Didn't even
All
warn
of the
you.
above. It's between two. So I'll say we were most recently in Japan, right? And so this Japanese-style Neapolitan, like in the flesh for real. It's no joke. This pizza is delicious, dude. Amazing. Like my family was there. My kids loved it. Crazy. Loved it. I'm happy to talk about it all the time, but like it is good. Japan is all about pizza, man. I couldn't believe it. There's no joke. I loved it. And then second to that, I most recently actually was at the new Scarrs in NYC. I know it's probably been a year or two since it ended up moving, but for me, I haven't been back there yet. It was awesome. I had that like Hellboy slice with the hot honey with the pepperoni and the jalapeno. Like, dude, hot, but it was good. That pizza's quality, man. So had some good pizza lately, dude. That's for sure, brother.
Amazing. You sent me all these pictures along the way, and I was
Yeah.
jealous of all of them. And your Japan trip looked awesome. And a little disappointed you didn't get the volcano cheese pie, but you just gotta go back, right? We gotta fire up the Pizza Club jet and go back next time.
Leaves you a reason to return. I'm with you there, Jim. Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's dive right in. We've got a full
Yeah, man.
slate this evening, and we're gonna start. We're actually start in New York City. It's just courtesy of Forbes. New food creation has hit New York City. The flattened pizza bagel at Bagiza. So, initial impressions. We know what this is. Will, just right off the top from the picture, what do you think?
I was expecting there to be a hole in the middle by default when I first saw it, and there's not. I appreciate the pizza bagel connection. I'm losing something without the hole in it. Is there something wrong with me? Do I need it? Like what? I don't know, man.
1,000,000%. That was my first thing. It may taste like a bagel, and we'll go on and talk about it,
Yes.
right? But there's something I don't need a big hole. I need the acknowledgement of a hole, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Some bagels can be closed off, absolutely, but there's a tiny space there. There's something where I can say, that's a bagel. I
That's a
don't see
bagel.
that initially. The visual cue for that is lacking for me. This is going to be a taste article. That's the only way it's going to go. It's got to be a taste thing.
Yeah, agreed. So, for those who don't know, it's the same chef, Chef Ansel, who created the cronut, which was a thing. Gosh, was that already like 12 years ago? And now, Michael Park, kind of doing the same thing. So they, called it a flagel. That's not a great name
That's
for a pizza bagel.
that's a
So
no-no. That's
good.
a foul
Yeah,
there. Hard foul on the flagel.
that
That's in
is
use already.
a hard foul. But so, they put together, blends a bagel with a pizza. It's made with bagel dough, which is pretty close to pizza dough, probably a little higher fat and a little bit different fermented. And then, really it's the parboil, right? Kettle with honey and spice rum. So it's interesting, right? Certainly. And it goes on, and there are tons of pictures of these, but I'm with you. I'm sure the flavor's very good. I'm sure it's got that bagely chew to it. Guess my two first impressions. The first was, where's the hole, and two, pizza bagels have been around for a long time, right? And this may be a very good pizza bagel, but you're not reinventing the wheel here. So again, it's great. Can't wait to try one right next time I'm up that area. I am not totally blown away by the concept.
Yeah. So a couple quick things I want to highlight here, and you might know, Jim, because you've got the expertise on the dough side of that spiced rum and honey parboil. I know you're not a bagel connoisseur. I know you've had a bagel before. that distinctive or unique? I just, that one stood out to me, of the spiced rum and honey as a parboil,
So
as opposed to
I'm
just
putting on my
water.
yeah, I'm putting on my scientist hat, right? So a parboil, right, of a bagel is going to be water and it's going to be alkaline, right? You're
Mhm.
spiking with lye, baking soda, right? That's how
Yep.
you get that signature crust. Honey, that's just going to dissolve in the sugar. And spice rum, the alcohol is going to evaporate off just about
Sure.
immediately, and you probably get some of the deep flavors of it. But depending how much they use, I don't really think it's imparting much other than color, right? I
Yeah.
think it might give it some cool color,
Okay.
natural
Okay.
coloring, but for flavor wise, I've never heard of, again, I'm not a bagel expert like I am pizza, but yeah, I think the alkaline would kind of neutralize all that. That would be kind of stronger anyways. So my guess is for color, kind of like an egg wash kind of thing.
Makes sense. Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, that was the part that stood out to me a little bit. And then I was trying to remember. I can't remember the shop that does it. That does the giant pizza bagel where they scoop it out. We'll probably drop it in the comments after there. And that one came a little bit close where someone was doing it at NYC, but it's like literally like
It was a
ginormous. Yeah, and
it
they're
was a
like
pizza
scooping it,
sized. Yep.
kind of filling it. But to be honest, back to these for one second, they look good. Like, I mean,
That
it
looked good.
thinks I'm thinking like, when you get that like beautiful Neapolitan cornichon. You get a chew on it. Now this is like that bagel chew on top of it because it looks like this pie would be good. I'm interested in trying this. This will be a stop for me. I'm excited to see what'll come from this. I'm able to get over the missing hole in the middle, and I'm down to give it a try for sure.
Will is able to get over the lack of hole. Yeah, I'm with you, right? Maybe not the first, but it looks great. And again,
Yeah,
taken with care, I like the concept, right? No real different than a pretzel crust.
I'm in.
So lovely. Well, let's go kind of along those lines and let's talk about a article from PMQ. We're talking about hydration doughs. This is courtesy of PMQ. Why is an amateur pizzaiolo adding water to his pizza dough until it breaks? Of course, we are talking about Dough Ball Disco, Chris Townsend. So again, right off the bat, Will, have you been following Chris's adventure on Instagram? I know I have.
Yeah, the hard start for me, this is where we say the word amateur. This guy is
Is
amazing.
hardly.
The
Yeah.
pizza professional. This dude is ridiculous with the creations that he comes up with.
So for those who haven't been following along, Chris has been, making a Neapolitan style dough and just upping the hydration every time. So he started at 70%, which is kind of a little higher than normal, but a good place to start, and kept going and going until last week he attempted to make a pizza at 130%. Um, Go check out the Instagram. It is wild. I commented on a couple and say, Bud, how are your hands just not, gluten only? But absolutely wild things. Chris been cooking. He's actually England across the pond, uni ambassador, and just kind of went full send on it. And some of these things, I mean, it looks like pancake batter. Honestly, I
Yes.
don't know how he does it.
It doesn't look like you could hold it together. It looks like when he picks it up and somehow is able to drop it into that little flour pool to just coat it. I don't get how he does it because I think it would just all just come apart. I don't understand how this dough is still staying together.
Yeah, I mean, so perfect picture of just how airy and light. I'm with you, right? Like, listen, I've messed with some high hydration doughs, some gluten freeze. I don't know how he just physically keeps his hands and it just not sticking to every surface and getting on a peel and launching that peel, right?
Yes.
That in itself is incredible.
Don't. I mean, listen. I struggle enough with the 70% hydration dough. Sometimes getting it off a
Right.
peel, like getting it off a peel, let alone double 2x that. I don't listen. I mean, the last one when everyone goes and checks out the video, it's coming apart a little bit, right? The last one was hard to call a pizza, I would say at that point, but the air that comes out of this crust is ridiculous. I'm excited to see what the next one looks like if he's able to pull it off for the next step. The next increment is going to be the one. I don't know if he gets past it.
Yeah, I don't know if he gets past 130. I've never heard of anything that high. So again, kudos to him. Kind of fun because one of those things you follow along at the beginning and the journey. I thought, well, this is it. He can't do it. I thought that 90%, right? And just
Absolutely.
it just sticks out because it's just a big gluten mesh that is just like it looks like if you took Elmer's glue and just stretch it, right?
Yes.
And just somehow he made it into a viable pizza. So kudos to you, and just amazing.
Elmer's glue is a good description because it seems like a kid science project where you're in there and there's Elmer's glue, there's something else, and then you're stretching it and it gets out there, and it's yeah. I'm ready to see the next one. But by God, does he make beautiful pizzas in general? So this is a cool side
Yes,
experiment for him, but he makes awesome looking pizzas. So
he
shout
makes.
out to him.
Agreed. So please, Incefalo Doughball Disco, please check him out. Tell him we sent you. Speaking of stretching dough, not my best segue, but we're gonna go with it. This courtesy of People. Bride and groom served giant 8-foot pizza at wedding. One of the coolest moments. So, two people in Texas. They got married earlier this year. They hired a company, Dirt Road Cookers, to make an 8-foot wood-fired pizza to serve their 160 wedding guests. Everyone was fascinated. One thing before I throw it to me, the first thing that came to my mind was I think it was Pizza Hut stunt. Remember when they wanted to make the world's largest pizza
I was
and
in
they had the
Vegas,
thing?
right? It was in Vegas where they put it on the floor
Yeah.
and they started putting them all together as the
Yes.
square. Exactly what I thought happened here. And I know you're going to scroll down and you're going to show where they cooked it. And when that came together, I was like, wow, they actually put it, I think, in one oven. There is like a clamshell cookie eater looking device that
There it
right there,
is. There
that
it
was
is.
that came out of. And I totally thought they were just going to be smushing this together afterwards, Jim. Same page, man. Totally.
Awesome. So, again, we go through, but, Will nailed it, right? I kind of thought it was be a Frankenstein pie. No, 6 guys loaded this thing into this. If they had this oven, good for them. But loaded it into them, cooked it. And, I kind of did the math 8-foot, 160 people. That math actually tracks. That is if you just look at the people in this picture, that's a lot of pie, bud.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm just shocked that like I need to know more, right? And like how did they build it? I understand we can get it out once it's cooked and firm. How did we get it in there? And what did that assembly process look like? And how did somebody stretch that? I mean, like, you can't roll this thing out on a sheeter. Like, what do you do?
So, and these are the questions, right? So, obviously, people focus more on the people. We care more about the pizza.
Yes, yes.
Here you see, right? You see this massive pizza roller, right? Which is awesome. But I'm with you. How did they get this rolled out? Was it a dough? I mean, clearly they had to. I'm hoping they put it on a pan, right? They didn't have a 10-foot peel they
Right.
used in this thing, right? I'm sure it's some sort of pan. But I'm with you. I don't know how. So you kind of, the Instagram doesn't get too much into the nuts and bolts of the pizza, but I think this is cool. Like I say, I expected stunt pizza, but I'm calling this real pizza. I'm calling this awesome.
Yeah, man, the Instagram was too focused on the wedding. Like, listen, I hope they had a great time, but
Yeah,
I need to know more. What's on it? How did they get how did they get an 8-foot pan, man? How
right,
did this come together?
exactly.
This could have
Did
been a
somebody
documentary along with the wedding. Could have been a pizza documentary slash wedding combination. We should have been there. We could have videoed it.
could have been there?
Michael,
Yeah,
next trip.
get the jet down to Texas. Yeah, I'm with you. Right, I mean, this is a custom pans and some welders work overnight. So
Yeah.
awesome. Congrats to them, but more congrats to the guys who made the pizza because that actually looked like a good pie and did not look like a stunt like I expected it to.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, listen, I hope the pizza was a good bang for your buck too for the wedding. I'm sure everyone enjoyed it. Just staring at the people in
Yeah,
that picture, it looked like they were into it. So
I
awesome.
I love it. Speaking of pizza that I'm into, it's courtesy of Delish, and I saw this one and I thought of you immediately. This is a compliment. Cheez-It lovers, I tried the brand's new pizzas to see if they're worth the hype. Get out your lactate. This is not a drill. Cheez-It has entered the frozen pizza game. 3 different pizzas, all thin crust, all 12 inches, they got pepperoni, I think like a 90 cheese, and then a cheddar jack supreme. Oh, those look pretty good.
So fun fact, I love Cheez-Its. Like it's like
Who the heck
a
doesn't?
go-to snack for like my family. Everyone likes them, right? So every week I'm buying Cheez-Its. I love it. I always try the different variations of them and whatnot. tried the Cheez-It Taco Bell creation with it. Wasn't as excited because I had mentioned Taco Bell because we talk about the Taco Bell pizza many a time. That's a real
Yeah. Oh,
pizza.
oh
So
yeah.
this Cheez-It combination coming in, I'm very intrigued to try it. Listen, gourmet pie, no, right? But that's not what we're going for here. This is a Cheez-It that is a pizza, and this kind of looks like it actually came together fairly well. What do you think, Jim?
It looked great. First off, we're extra toasty in this house. Where do you all land? Yeah. All right. See,
Absolutely.
this is why this works. Listen, but these look really good. Like, listen, we've covered a lot of frozen pies
Yes.
on this show. And I'll tell you, the other day we covered one that just looked kind of was the wood fired style and it looked sad. Dude, these
Yeah.
look like good pies, looks like good amount of cheese. And if the crust has got some cheese at flavor, it's gonna have that extra toasty vibe to it. But I'm here for it. So, the review from Delish basically says, I'll just say one word, slapped, right? It just works, which honestly, I love it. I love it. Yes, it's a gimmick, but bud, these are good looking frozen pizzas.
So what I'm most interested about in this particular one though is like to me, Cheez-It super distinctive for the Cheez-It crunch, right? It's got like the extra toasty has a very definitive flavor of what extra toasty is. And to be honest, I think a bunch of the extra cheese, the extra toasty ones can vary by package. Some are a little bit too toasty, some are a little bit less toasty. There's variation in the
100%.
Cheez-It
Yep.
world.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in how the crust is going to be on this. If it's soggy at all, does it lose that cheese at appeal? But it can't be like St. Louis style cracker, right? Tostito, like kind of bottom. And I don't want it to be like that. So that's the only thing that I'm a little bit up in the air about is like what the bottom of this is going to come out. Like it may have Cheez It flavor, but is it going to crunch and hit like a Cheez It? Or is it going to be kind of soggy one? And I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm not getting it. So
Yeah.
that's the variability that I'm thinking about. P.S. I ordered a multiple ones to come for delivery, but I didn't get them in time. But I will try them this. But I will try them this weekend for sure.
I will get some. We'll try them next episode. I'm with you.
All right, there we
It
go.
doesn't look cavern thin. It looks like it's got a little
Yes.
bit. I'm here for it. And again, that's a healthy amount of cheese for a frozen pizza.
So I'm glad you mentioned that, Jim. Actually, because I wanted to come to you on this because I saw somewhere in here it talked about how much cheese there was. Was it almost a pound of cheese or something like that? I thought
Yeah,
it
I'll
was,
see if I can find.
but I don't think people appreciate like the amount of cheese, Jim. Like how much goes on like a 10-inch pie in general, and then how much like a pound of cheese would turn into on a pie like this. Like that's a lot of cheese.
Yeah, I mean, for my tavern style pie, which is 12 to 14 inch, I'm gonna use 6 to 8 ounces, right?
Yeah.
So to be near double that is impressive on its own, and then on a frozen pizza for $6.99. But this is again another home run by Cheez It.
I'm in. I can't wait. I'm ready to try it next weekend or next week when we're on. Let's do it.
Same. Well, when you have leftovers of this, I don't think you're going to. All Recipes says there is the most genius trick for reheating pizza. All Recipes goes on and say, hey, you've got pizza, you've got leftovers. We've talked, right? The steaming, the air frying, I've written articles. Who the hell hasn't written articles? This one says, why not just put business side down into a cheese frico and make reheated slice? They call it the cheese pocket pizza. I want to hear Will's thoughts on this.
It's just a good segue into this one because I was thinking that this would work well together from the last pie to here.
Yeah.
This was unique. When I read this article, I was like, wow. Obviously, I was thought first thing was you just saw like, okay, what's the new method for reheating this that I've heard 1,000 times? This is creative, and I'm really interested in actually trying it. Would I call it directly a reheat method? No, but it's a cool fusion hybrid, and you could sell me on it being a reheat. I'll give it a whirl for sure. This one sounds cool, man. I would definitely give this a whirl.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm put up. It's a repurpose. It's not a reheat, right?
Fair, yeah.
As someone who's contributed to articles, including I think this one right here, it's not a true reheat. But here's the thing: if you have a lackluster slice, right, a frozen piece, and
This
you
is a
just need
lackluster slice to start with here. Like the great
kind
description of a lackluster looking slice.
I mean, yeah, the sprayed on color on the bottom. I do like it because you gotta doctor up your pizza. It's a
Yes.
cool way you kind of stretch it, extend it, right? Put in your flavorings, your seasonings. So I like it. So this is courtesy of Twisted, which they have tons of food content, some wild, some mainstream, but I'm with you. It's not reheating, it's repurposing, but to me, basically, I would make a quesadilla out of it, right? Put two together, right? I
Yeah.
think you'd start thinking of it, and of course, it's going to taste great. It's a frico, basically surrounding your pizza.
Yeah, I think it was cool. They talked about kind of throwing different cheeses in. Perhaps you want to spice it up, right? The whole repurpose idea, cheddar, Gouda, whatever variant you want to go with. But the idea of kind of making this like cheese wrap or cheese lace that's going to come over it, I just thought it was cool, man. It's a really interesting idea. I wondered why they didn't flip it at all, though. I feel like the top slash bottom wouldn't be as warm potentially just for kind of leaving the top down for a minute and then wrapping it. I feel like it might be cold still on the true bottom, Jim, but that's the top when you flip it, like
Yeah, I'm with you. I would have started it right, original cheese up,
yes,
and
yes.
just for a minute, just to warm it. Then I would have
Yep.
done the thing again. The temperatures, but again, I think at this point, if you're putting this piece of pizza, you might care. Maybe it's a tech. I don't know. I'm with you. I would have at least put a lid on it.
Something.
Give me some
I
sort
gotta
of right.
heat both sides of that. There's only one heating element with the pan, so we gotta get both pieces to go and get warm in some sort of way, right?
Honestly, you put that under a broiler, maybe that could be the
Yeah.
move, right? Because then you're getting a little more crisp. You can re-crisp that top. That's the play there. You put it under a broiler. Yeah. Um. All right. Let's see if I can segue this one. Speaking of grease, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and for keeping pizza grease free is courtesy of BuzzFeed. Paris Hilton's hack for keeping her cheese or pizza grease free has left people horrified. We'll call it a life hack. We'll scroll through. Most people, right? You do the napkin blot. We've all done it, right? You get the fast food pizza or, the food court pizza. She threw her pepperoni pizza slice sauce down on the outside of the cardboard box it was delivered in, as shown. Well, germs,
They don't
take it
exist
away.
for they don't exist for Paris Hilton, man. She's germ free. Nothing touches her. Apparently, it's fine. Another interesting celebrity revelation of how they consume pizza is all I can say. As we've seen many of them, this is just effing ridiculous. This picture just
It's
sells it.
perfect.
It
It's
is
perfect.
the top of the pizza box, and you take a slice, you slap it down on top to remove the grease. You then remove said piece of pizza, still magically intact, and consume, or in this case, re-slap to a clean part of the dirty box to get the rest of the grease off, remove again, and then consume. Wow, magical.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying pizzerias are dirty by any means, but I can tell you they don't really care too much about the overall cleanliness of the outside of the box. Most places, they're not sanitizing those ahead of time. Those aren't getting baked at 450. So
Yes, they come in a package, and we gotta fold. People gotta fold them, right? I mean, this is it. We're touching the
exactly.
box. We open it. Everybody it just says what it is.
And once again, right there's a shot right there. I guess in an absolute pinch, if you're that worried about the grease, but Will, why wouldn't you use the inside of the box? It's right there. It's on the other side, right? And
It
just
must.
kind of give it a little. Again, I'm just saying things. I'm not a mechanical engineer slash
It's
slash pizza author or anything, but
it must be the the white side of the box just absorbs the grease more than the brown side would. So that's it. Simple as that,
that's it.
right? It can't. That
Simple as that.
has to
Listen,
be it. I wonder if it works if it's the plasticky thin kind of boxes. That just seems like it's going to be a mess then, as opposed to like the paper boxes where actually kind of something can stick to it. Jim, let me ask you one question about
yeah,
this actually,
right,
because I think this is an
right.
important thing. So this one to witness, but I think there's a misconception about pizza grease because like pizza grease is different necessarily than like oil, right? Because sometimes like I add oil, olive oil to a pizza, right? But
100%.
that's
Yeah.
different than this grease. Maybe give people a bit of education on what this pizza grease versus good pizza grease or oil
Yeah.
on a pizza.
People call it grease. It's not really grease, right? It's the oils of your toppings if you have pepperoni or sausage. And then, the cheese, as the cheese proteins coagulate, right? Some of the natural fats in them will sink down into the sauce and rise to the top. And after time, they'll kind of get reabsorbed. But it is not like like you say, like you're deep frying something. This is not added from the cooking process. It's already there in the cheese. And pizza grease is nothing else than just part of the cheese coming out. It's not always all fat either. It's, moisture, right? There's moisture in mozzarella and it comes to the surface and it condenses. So like, yeah, people call it pizza grease. It's not really grease. It's a combination of, proteins, fats, and liquids from the mozzarella and things. It's not going to kill you, right? I mean, I understand that everyone's got their old dietary things. I'm not here to tell you that, but if you're eating a piece of pizza, the grease is kind of half the fun, right?
Yeah. I think each
So
pizza has a different kind, right? Some
yeah, you got it.
quality pizzas, I don't mind it. And sometimes when I'm like, oh, this is a not that quality of a pizza, then I'm probably gonna maybe go the Paris Hilton style and smash that guy on the pizza box and probably just leave it there and move on to something else instead. You know what I mean? Would
Yeah,
probably be
yeah.
the end of the way
Yeah,
I
you
go.
leave it on the box and you go yourself a hot dog. Yeah, right. Again, right. Just a reminder: napkins do exist, and they are made for such things. But they get all translucent and it's cool, and then you can, think, I did good. This isn't in me, right? Everyone does
Yes.
that. I avoided this.
Success.
Success. Mm, two more. I've left the two hardest to segue. So we'll do another celebrity having a take on pizza. How about that?
Oh, how about more success? More success. Who could be more successful than Bobby Flay?
That Iron Chef Bobby Flay, the courtesy of Chowhound. This is what Bobby Flay really thinks about pineapple on pizza. Will, I know you've read this, but what was your initial thought? Was he a fan? Was he not a fan of pineapple on pizza? What was your
So
initial impression?
no, I didn't think he was going to be a fan of pineapple on pizza. And peace out. He goes if he ever sees a pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, so obviously Bobby Flay, known for kind of started Southwestern cuisine, but he's got every cooking show. Native New Yorker, which I think can already kind of clue you where he's going to go. He says, if I see pineapple on pizza, I'm walking out. That's it, without hesitation. I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised, for a guy who's all about big flavors and pushing the envelope, and especially, when you look at contrast, right? A lot of his food I've eaten, Mesa and many of his places, he's so big on contrast. I thought he would be at least open to it.
I'm I can understand where you're going with that one. And I would say, I bet for his cuisine, right? If we're thinking Southwestern cuisine, right? That's going to be in his wheelhouse. He can get a variation. Bobby Flay cooks everything under the sun. But what I say is he like I don't know. I know he's got an Italian restaurant in Vegas too, but the pineapple thing for him and Italian food for me just was I didn't think he was going to go with it. Any other food genre, I think he's more adaptable. For something about him and some of the Italian food, not as much. From what I've seen, that's all. That's my 2,000-foot view of him.
Yeah, and for the the native New Yorkers I know, right, I would say the majority are anti pineapple, right? The slice, and I'm with you. So yeah, interesting. Certainly, I've written on this also, and I'm not a fan because I think it's redundant. Put whatever you want on your pizza. That
Sure.
said, a California slice, which I know is your favorite, I do know some of those can play with the flavors and textures. I just had to needle you about California style pizza. But again, to each their own. But Bobby Flay says no, no, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, Bobby. Listen, I'm happy. My son got into pineapple pizza. He liked it. He kind of likes the like barbecue sauce thing, but like he'll get a slice if we see one at like a slice shop that's cool, but he won't get like multiple ones. Every once in a while they'll weigh in on it. So I'm happy to give it a whirl. I'm sorry, Bobby. I think it's
Yeah,
still good, but yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So speaking kind of on, I'm going to call the exact opposite spectrum of the toppings in our last
Yeah.
article. This one I put in just for me. Let's face it.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, just come on. So anyone who knows me knows my two favorite things in the world are pizza and Italian beef. So, Giordano's and Boya Beef collaborate on pizza for National Italian Beef Day. I'm just going to pause at this beautiful picture, courtesy of PMQ, of course. Zoom out a little bit so we can get all of it. Will, have you ever had giardiniera pizza?
Yes, I've actually had giardiniera on everything you could possibly think of because it's delicious, man. And if I can put it in something, bake it in something, put it on top of something, eat it out of the jar, I'm in.
Lovely. Correct answer. I love it, right? One of my favorite pizzas, a pizza that I will talk about next week, maybe. Features giardiniera. And of course, this is the Chicago oil pack, not the pickled kind of authentic stuff. But it's pretty self-explanatory. So Giordano's, which is pretty iconic Chicago deep dish brand, partnered with Bona Beef, which is a pretty prominent regional chain of Italian beef. So it's Italian beef pizza. It's got everything in there that you would want it to have. It's got the giardiniera on top. It's got the layer of Italian beef in the middle, surrounded by mozzarella and your red sauce on top. Only comment I had, Will, and I'm going to have this comment, is to me, I need a
Yeah.
little bit of jus around the rim, right? You gotta have a little bit, right? Because that jus makes the Italian beef what it is. It's not the beef, it's not the peppers, sweet or hot, which I would love some sweet peppers in here too, by the way. I need a little bit of that jus, because that jus with the crust on everything would take this from a 10 to a 12. My only
So
comment,
we're gonna like dip that then,
I would give a little
or we're
drizzle.
gonna drizzle. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
think like a hot honey moment, right? So a little bit of jus just on top, just before you eat it, right? Because you don't want it to get soggy. But I think that's the move. That's the move this is missing. I'm mad that I didn't think of that when I was writing recipes about Italian beef pizzas, because I think that's really smart. But again, really cool, right? Two of my favorite things. And if you haven't put giardiniera on pizza, you really need to, because I think it's my favorite food. It might be my favorite pizza topping.
What makes it like distinctive versus what someone can buy in a store? In like off a supermarket shelf, Jim. Not to insult you, right? But I just want to give a distinction of good quality versus what everyone else gets. Like, is there something
The
unique
giardiniera
to it?
quality,
Yeah,
you mean?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So there are two things that are going to be distinctive, right? One is the amount of oil and how much is packed. The lower level brands are going to be mostly canola oil, and they're going to be packed. There's going to be no seasoning. It's going to be very yellow, right? You look at
yeah,
this jar and you think it's yellow.
yeah.
Where the better brands are going to be packed. There's going to be a bunch of herbs, spices, and the oil they use probably won't be olive seed oil, probably a blend with some olive or some other things. They're going to say hot or mild. I've had some hots that are so hot that you can't even be in the same room with it. I've had some hots that I eat by a spoonful, right? So it does, your mileage does vary. But for me, right, a good hot is, it's there, but it's not going to destroy you. But at this point, even here in Michigan, we can get good brands. Here where I feel like 5-10 years ago we couldn't.
Yeah.
But again,
Okay.
avoid the pickled stuff, right? Pickled stuff on pizza, that would be awful. That would be an absolute nightmare. This is the oil packed, fermented, cured kind of stuff with the peppers and the other things, it's just lovely. I put it on.
Well, let me ask you one more exploratory question,
Please,
Jim. Then, please,
let's
because
get in
now
there.
I need to understand. You're building this
Yeah.
this like Italian beef pie. Italian beef what is as you say. There's no beef itself does not yielding Italian beef. There's more to it. Is it just the jus that's on top of it? Is it the cut? Is it the distinctness, like the thinness to it? Like what? Give me the key components to building this kind of.
Me talking about Italian beef all day. So a couple things. It's gonna be the cut of the beef super thin, right? It's not a deli roast beef. It is a eye of round or something that's been roasted, cooled, and then shaved so you can see through it. It's a jus, which the good ones are as much fat as they are jus, right? With the garlic and the oregano and whatever spices. And that's the combination, right? It's the sweet or hot peppers. It's, dunking the bread in the jus, right? So you get kind of the sheen. It's the beef, which is almost just bulk kind of, but in the best way. It's that combination. Some people put red sauce on it. I don't. Some people put cheese on it. I don't, because it doesn't need it. And it's actually all the flavor really is in the jus. And that's why, coming back to the pizza, having a little drizzle of that jus, I think would
Yeah,
really
yeah, it
just
would really bring it
transport you
together.
there. Yeah,
I'm with you.
ties the whole
I
room
think
together.
that sounds like you might need to drop them a comment, man, and be like,
I
"Hey,
should.
listen, here's the
Expert.
takeaway."
Yeah, I got a guy. Oh my gosh. Will, that half hour flew by. Where can people find you on Instagram if they're so inclined? Or
Yeah,
if they're
man.
not?
Fine. Yeah, if you're not, I'm not there, and if you are, find me at Funny Will. I'm out there talking about food sometimes or posting food related items. So check
Yeah,
me out
you
and
should.
check us out and check us out.
Well, I'm getting there, bud. So come on, just
It's different role, different
get
role, different
get the
role for
rust off.
me.
So I'm at Jim Cook's Food Good wherever you get your content. Of course, we are I Need Pizza Club, Instagram, YouTube, podcasts wherever you get your podcasts. Please like, rate, subscribe, tell your friends, tell more friends. We're pretty cool, and feel free to share. Clubhouse after most nights. Join us there if you're so inclined, and tune in live next week for another episode of the Pizza Roundtable, part of the I Need Pizza Club network. Have a good
Love
night,
it.
everybody.
See you guys.